Chimaine from Creatively Chimaine, and this is my Quiltytube. I gotta thank Celeste Creates for the Quiltytube title. I thought I would share some of my quilts before I pack them up. Some I've already done, but let's get to it. This one here was from, I had a gray secret sister when I was here the first time in Texas, and because if you didn't know, I was military and traveled. She passed away before I got back. Joan was fantastic quilter, very prolific. This was from an Okinawa secret sister. I love them both. Hopefully you'll see some more of Joan's work and some other stuff. This is an antique quilt that I was given. Actually, I was given two by the same person. And of course there is not enough space. This is a queen size, but is that not gorgeous? I'm pretty sure these are 1930s, 1940s time frame, and I love it. Do not use it. It sits on a quilt rack. I know they're made to be loved, but I learned through the quilts my daughter has that I have put up for later, that she kept cooling down after I let her use it when she was toddler time frame. It was a sunbonnet suit my mom had gotten her. That some of these fabrics do not last from that time frame at all. Others were, I mean, it was great, and it was such a soft quilt. Is such a soft quilt, but some dresses need some repair. So that's why I'm not using it, even though it's meant to be. I might, when I have a guest room, lay it out when people aren't there. I mean, when people can see it, but when they're not staying, when they're staying, I'm gonna take it off and put a different quilt on that I don't mind getting used right now. This was the other one, and it's blues, and I love it, and my daughter wants to steal it, and she's not gonna get it yet. And of course, this is a log cabin. I want to make sure you can hear me. And it's fantastic. And I was so excited to get these. And they are in really, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, this one is just in fantastic shape. I do not even know where I got this one, but I love it. It is a star. And can be hung. It has the tabs to be hung. This one, when I on my last floss tube, I told everyone I had done in Okinawa. I had started selling workshops of Gerald E. Henn, which is Longenberger's was Longenberger's competitor. When I got back, I was still doing it. I got to go to a convention up in Ohio. First and only time I've been to Ohio yet. There was a silent auction. There were other auctions, but there was a silent one, and it was this. And I was absolutely in love. And probably should have put more of the money to my business, but I had to have it. And I won. I couldn't believe it. I actually won it. Isn't it gorgeous? It's hung on my wall at different houses. It's fantastic. Whoever did this, I want to say it's signed. It says workshops. Oh, I might need to fix that piece of binding. Workshops charity auction, June 1995, donated by Armiger Branch, handmade by Martha Williams. So, okay. This one was another one from a secret sister. I have another one that sits somewhere. I think I hadn't unpacked it yet. Loved it. And One of my dogs as a puppy got a corner of it. Yay. And I cannot get rid of it. I might eventually have to make something from it. My daughter is trying to call through. This was a mystery quilt. First time I'd heard of mystery quilts, where you get one instruction, like you get the cutting instructions, then you get step 1 and step 2, and you had to pick out the colors without knowing the pattern. And I went with my 2 standbys, black and purple, and this is the quilts. And it's soft and I love it, and I always, when I can, don't waste fabric, and I piece my backs. This is free motion on my domestic machine. I love doing free motion on it. I took right to it. I love to write words. I need to get back to it with, the new rulers and all that. This one is very dear. It's also been used and loved. This is, I made for my grandfather. And my aunt, when he was staying with my aunt, said she would have to pull it off the bed from him to get it to wash it. He loved golf. And this is actually a Eleanor Burns Quilt in a Day pattern that's used to teach kids back then quilting, but I loved it for when the picture fabric started coming out. It's a fantastic pattern for that. I think it's a rail fence, if you can't tell, one stripe, the thicker one, and then another one. And you could tell it is just, I actually, when he passed away, my aunt gave it back to me after the funeral, and he's the only grandparent I've ever known. All the other ones had passed away before, by the time. 2 passed away really early in my parents' life, and the second grandmother passed away when I was about a year, I think, and a year or 2. And this is how loved this has been. My kids and everybody were using it afterwards because it's the best quilt, and I need to do some work. Just keep it going. I saved it. I was like, no more using that quilt. So in Okinawa, I had a German lady who taught us hand quilting, hand piecing. I already knew how to hand quilt, hand piecing, and I fell in love with hand piecing. I really can't wait till I actually have time to do more hand piecing. This is one of my projects. It's a table runner. As you can see, back then I was very much into dark, I guess. These, at least the rose fabric was a Japanese fabric. She actually collected 4-inch blocks from each of us before we left and did a quilt. My 4-inch block was a Lone Star, believe it or not, and I absolutely loved it. I need to do another one. And then this was my biggest hand pride, machine piece, but hand quilted. And I did the hand quilted this, about the same time as that, yeah. And it is an Irishchain. I have put the picture, if you want a full view, is up on my Instagram. And this one is a little different because most Irishchains have an odd number of blocks. This has an even, so it gives you a mirror image from the middle. You definitely, to see the mirror image. I would need my 6'3" son to hold this up. Because it is a queen size, most definitely. And so it's a mirror image of itself. And I absolutely, this was and again, the black and the purple. I started this with a different fabric, And then I found this fan, this one, Japanese one, and I was like, oh, I need to go with that. And that's actually how I ended up with the black and the purple. Wasn't intending necessarily for it to be a dark quilt. It's just where the fabric led me. And I put fans in the middle of the blocks. This was a quilt I learned, if you're tired, do not work on it, because I put what I tried to do, because I was coming back from Okinawa to get out of the Marine Corps. So I wanted it ready to start hand quilting on my trip. Mistake, because in piecing it with very little time, I flipped blocks and I had to rip. The funny part about that was I was at my mom's house and I'm on the floor doing this, set everything down, and I'm like, Mom, where'd my seam ripper go? She's like, I don't know. Isn't there? The cat had took my seam ripper and hid it. I was like, never knew cats did that. Learned very quickly. Do not set something like that down around her cats. So that is my quilts I have to share with you. I have some haul and stuff I want to share. So let me pull that up. A lot of them are books. So I fell in love with the Log Cabin Stitcher was talking, no, it's one of the Colorado Stitchers, was talking about the Dear Jane quilts. And I fell in love with it and was like, oh my gosh, I need to get that book. Well, come find out, that's like a Blackbird design almost, trying to get that book. Thought these were them. Hold on. No, we'll go back to that story in a minute. So I have been collecting Blackbird quilting books as I can. I've got Garden Club. I will not pay over a certain price. So sometimes it takes me a while to get the one I want, Tending the Garden. And of course there are also cross stitches in these. So if you're a cross stitcher too, they are fantastic. And I'm going to tell you, I will be having a giveaway coming up because I got this one twice. So I will keep an eye out. I will be giving a Blackbird Tending the Garden book away. Here's some of the blocks. This is my favorite right here. Need to do this one. So those are two I picked up. I want to get back into applique, bodacious applique. Always about birds, but I love the flowers too. So got that one. This is the one Log Cabin Stitcher led me to, and I hopped right on and was able to find it. I couldn't believe it, and at a good price. So this is for wool applique, which I have to tell you, on my website, which I'll talk about later, I'm going to have scrap bags of wool available. So keep an eye out. One Black Wonders. This is a fantastic, if you have not seen what you can do with one fabric. So this is the fabric that started, and this is the quilt. Is that not amazing? I got the Raven. Here's the second copy. So this will be a giveaway. I will put that in my giveaway spot. I love Civil War fabric and quilts, so I was able to pick these three up at such a good deal together. This is, if you know quilting, Civil War era, Barbara Brackman is the expert. This is her Prairie Flower, A Year on the Plains, and Women of Design, Quilts in the Newspaper, also by her. And then Civil War Women, Barbara Ragman. I wanted to say I got all three for $25, and I was jumping up for joy. Then I had started collecting, thanks to Pat Sloan, the big books of different quilting stuff. Big book of applique, big book. I was able to get, you can find these for a really sweet price on eBay. And then Lori Holt led me down a rabbit hole with doing the red sampler, which I have my fabric, but I was waiting on the books for the patterns. So here I went down another rabbit hole with her books. Great Granny Square, Quilty Fun, Farm Girl Vintage, Farm Girl Vintage 2, and finally, I recently got Vintage Christmas. I just got that. Oh, that's where that went. Okay. I still want to tell you that story, but oh, my dog just went after one of the cats. Lorraine Turner is one of my favorite fiber artists. She's really gotten more in the quilting part of it now recently. If you haven't, go on Facebook, find her. She does lives on Tuesday, I believe. I have taken 2 Zoom workshops during COVID of hers. All her proceeds go to the endangered animals she's trying to help. This I just ordered is, her fabric line is through Free Spirit, but this is through Aurifil, is her matching threads. This is actually one of her pieces, but you got to see her animal pieces. They're incredible. So this is her Aurifil. 12 weight, I believe. Yep, 12 weight. And then she sent me an extra spool. I want to say that's 50 weight though. Whoop. Yes, 50 weight. Okay. I am sorry I'm not more together for this, but with me getting ready to move, things are a little crazy. Let me see. Oh, I did not pick these up recently. These were mine, but I wanted to point out someone was talking about paper piecing and wanting to learn it and get into it and how hard is it and all that. One of the best teachers for it is Carol Doick, and this book is amazing because it comes with all the patterns for it. You can get, and then you just copy them. You can trace them, you can run them through. Sorry for my surgery. I'm still numb and it's itching right now. You can basically, I'm going to show you real quick, just run it through your copier and make paper piecing on whatever paper that you can run through. It's called Easy Machine Paper Piecing. And I might have to do a thing on this. I'm sure there are great tutorials. I haven't looked, but I used to teach this. I got into it when it really first hit, and so I usually became one of the people that taught it at for guilds that I belong to. So it's bothering me that the books I want to show you are not quite at hand. I'm going to pause in a minute, but first I want some of the beautiful fabric I picked up. Oh. There is a great shop outside of town, and so I am going to do One Block Wonders with this. That is for my bed, because I have a gorgeous French painting up above of a cafe. This, I'm like, I would never normally buy this for myself. Not that it's ugly, or it's just not me. But wait till I do a One Block Wonder with that. And then that is a backing fabric for a quilt for somebody, so you don't need to see that. I also, I'm going to show you those at the end and tell you about that. This was a very special gift. Me and a Okinawa lady that was in our guild swapped. She wanted a cross stitch, which I buried just now. This cross stitch for her sewing room. I did that for her. Oh, it took a long time, and I still want to do it for me. And she made me this bag. Now, the details are going to be insane. Okay, so this is all hand done, not machine. So here's the piecing. I mean, of course, putting it together was machine. Look at this handle. I mean, this bag is more than 25 years old. It's gonna be hard to show you. Hold on here. Let me take out my hand piecing stuff. I do use this for actually mostly my hand piecing stuff, or when I'm doing bindings. Oh, that thread has gotten the zipper. Don't you love that? Okay. Where is the pair of scissors? I'm just going to cut this and deal with it later. Here we go. Boom. Boom. Okay. So here is the lid. Has a little pocket with this that holds stuff in. Then inside. So all along the outside are pockets. I absolutely love the Japanese quilters. They are fantastic. I actually have some from a store there that I'm going to finish their hand kits. All their patterns are drawn out, so you don't actually need to read Japanese to do their patterns, at least not the ones I have. So that is that. I'm going to pause for seconds. Okay, found what I was looking for, but also some more stash. So I picked up this to do for my daughter at the Quilt Cottage in near where I got my long arm from in near Houston. It's Richmond, Texas, because here's Quilter on the Go. I collect these as I find them. As you know, Shop Hops have them. Love my American Patchwork quilt magazines. This is also for my daughter, some collage. And then this has a mermaid in it. I'm probably gonna do for my aunt. I got this at a show here we had in town. I don't know if they've had it recently, but it's every month. This is from Calendar Table Runners, it's called, from Little Quilt Company. Then I'm all about tea. I do not drink coffee, and this caught my eye. Oh, this is a cross stitch. Oh, I should have shared that earlier. Okay, whoops, trick you. So back to Dear Jane. Trying to find this book where it didn't cost an arm and a leg. So I was constantly looking. I had the search going, and one day I was going through lots of quilt books, and actually I wasn't looking for that. I was just looking at lots of quilt books to see what books were out there. And there was one where they were a certain way, and I was flipping through and I was like, no way. And sure enough, in this lot of about 10, 12 books was Dear Jane. So I'm going to show you what I got, and I'll tell you more. So I got Singer Quilting by Machine, which I love anything that has to do with machine quilting to give. I don't know if anyone remembers when Chintz was in for quilting. I'd actually got kind of saw some that I loved, and so this book is kind of interesting. It's more of a history and stuff. I think there are a few patterns, but I love books on the history of quilting to add to my library. Now, I only got these books for the Dear Jane book, so this is 250 continuous quilting design. I figured I could give away, sell, whatever was left, but around the block. Stitch and flip. Hold on, I'll be right back.